All right, hello everyone. I decided this time I would join you via a quick video update because it's easier for me to do this than to type out a long message. I will keep this short and sweet just because I know we are all busy. I've been thinking a lot today about going into week 3 for me and my family, just how exhausted I really am and the realities around trying to do my job full time plus administering the things that are being sent home to me by my 6-year-old's teacher and ensuring that she's getting what she's needing, with daycare being closed, taking care of a 3-year-old, and doing all of the things that I would do at home as well. And so I first just want to acknowledge that this is a crazy, crazy time. And I think we can all agree to that. And I've really reached a place probably within the last day or so, really just centered around how do we get to that finish line and what are those last little things that we need to do in order to ensure that our students get what they need in order to complete the semester. And I know that that's for some of us maybe a hard pill to swallow, but for me it is the reality, and it is the place that I needed to finally find myself in. And so I just want to give a couple of updates real fast. As you all know, please send me any emails if you have questions concerning any of the things that I've talked about. So you can see what I'm sharing with you is really kind of where I'm at right now. So I started off pretty solid, feeling like I was going to be a great teacher for my 6-year-old and hold it all together with the 3-year-old. And as time has gone on, my tolerance for my kiddos and my family has gotten in that downward slope, and my consumption of beverages has definitely gone up. So it's a good thing that I've got quite the nice little stockpile and don't have to go out and get more, but I'm definitely filling it. So with that, like I said, I just want to highlight a couple of things. So remember, Monday we start back up. April 6th is when we can expect our students to be hopefully logged back in and active and ready to go. I would encourage you all to post announcements, if that's a video announcement, if it's an announcement that you've just typed up for your students. I would encourage you to do that on Sunday or Monday when students are due back, to hopefully just get them re-engaged for the semester. They've been out for 3 weeks, and I suspect that they're dealing with all of the same things that we're dealing with. And so to add this back on their plate is going to be stressful for them as well. And I suspect some students will continue to engage with us and some students will not. And so we do just want to make sure that we acknowledge that reality. So students are back. Like I said, post something letting them know that you're alive, you're well, and we have a plan moving forward. You do want to make sure you're very clear about any of those new due dates that you've moved. So if that is through a syllabus addendum, great. Rebecca has a really fun little graph with a bicycle that shows some of those moving deadlines and new due dates for students. So do whatever works best for you. Mine's a simple table that just says week 11, week 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. These are your new due dates and what needs to be accomplished now that we are in this online modality. Remember that the semester is being extended by a week. So instead of your end due date of May 9th, you will be through that next week, through May 16th. And I am giving you the freedom to say whatever you need to do in that final week. So if that's still delivering curriculum, fine. If that's, I want to deliver a final, fine. If you've found a way to remove whatever you need to remove, and that's the time that you want to use to finalize any signature assignment, final exam grades, fine. I really want you to all use your judgment in these scenarios and figure out what's best for you and what's best for your students. It doesn't mean that we're just going to shut everything down, but it definitely means that you take a look at your course, figure out what's necessary for the student, and find those necessary target dates. So just know May 16th is that new end date for students, which then means grades will be due that following Thursday, which I think most of you saw that. I'm pulling up my calendar real fast to take a look at it. So that following Thursday, which is May 21st. So you just want to make sure you do have some of those new due dates locked away in the back of your mind and your brain. Graduation has been postponed, so you've also probably heard that. And there isn't, as of yet, a new not due date, but a new date of when graduation will happen. So I would just keep your eyes peeled for that. Students have been asking. We know as much as they know at this point. So it has been postponed, not canceled. And I just really, again, want to reiterate, ask yourself that question, is it essential? So as we move forward in these final planning days before we go back on April 6th with our students, there's been a lot of questions around when can students come back on campus, with the president now saying April 30th. The president of the United States, not our president, saying April 30th is the date that they've kind of got planned as when can we end our, I call it physical distancing. I don't call it social distancing because I still like to be social. And so I've found some ways to still remain social. I'm just physically distant from my family and friends. So that's that date when physical distancing will supposedly be lifted. And so the college is saying May 1st may be the date when students can come back on campus. And I just realistically don't think that that's something that any of us should plan on. So at this point, I'm going to say plan for a worst case scenario, which means students can't come on campus. We're not going to proctor exams. We're not going to have students come on campus for labs. So again, ask yourself, what is essential? Is it essential for my students to have this lab? And if it's essential for my students to have this lab, what online materials can I find to deploy that specific component? And then maybe ask some thoughtful questions after I've deployed that component. So if it is a lab around, let's say, acids and bases, and I can find a YouTube video of someone simulating that lab, excellent, post that lab for your students for them to view, and then think of some thoughtful questions for them to review that information, show that they've done it, and then synthesize that back to you. So I know, again, it's not ideal, but ask yourself, what are those essential things that I need my students to complete this semester? What are the resources that I have available to me, knowing that there's a very high possibility that those students will not come on campus? A lot of you have asked me questions about proctoring exams. You know, chemistry uses the ACS exam. I'm going to say we're not doing it. And we're not doing it for the reason that you're going to run into students who are going to tell you that they don't want to come on campus, that they don't want to jeopardize their health. And so I think we need to take the collective approach of what is best for students, what is best for us in this situation. And that may be you write your own final exam. This is one of those one-off, once in a lifetime things that happens. And so I really want to encourage us to think outside of the box, think about some things that probably make us a little bit uncomfortable, but helps us get to that finish line. We are incredibly creative, innovative, intelligent people. And we all know that given an ideal circumstance, we would be delivering the best education for our students. And in this situation, we will still find ways to deliver great instruction. It just may not look the way that we had hoped it would look. And I think we need to give ourselves some space and some time to just acknowledge that that's okay. So with that, as you're finishing up, you're preparing for moving everything online, think about that. Think about the realities behind students aren't coming back on campus. Students probably will not want to come and take a proctored exam if that is the route that you feel you want to go. And so really think about preparing from the standpoint of how can I deploy and deliver all of this content via the tool that our students are using, which is Blackboard. Again, if you have questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. I've been fairly responsive via email, and you probably all also have my cell phone. So hang in there, stay sane, remain physically distanced, but do not socially distance yourselves. You'll go crazy. At least I know I do. The extrovert in me needs people in my life. So I hope you're all well. We will talk soon.